Hello everyone, this is Carl Schiffer from Infragistics again, and in this short video on the WPF XamDataGrid Configurator, I'd like to talk about layout modes. Layout modes. All right, so let's talk about those. I got our project from our last time that we were working on this, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come down here and clean this up and remove these groups here. Try to make this a little simpler. Notice you can't remove the group until you pull out all of its children. And I could have moved them manually, but it's just easier to do this. All right, so now what I want to do, I want to show you how you can use or the different layout modes of the XamDataGrid. So here we've got customer ID, customer first name, customer last name, and then what I want to do is I want to show the street, city, state, the zip, and I'm going to add a couple more fields here so you can kind of get the idea. Well, for right now, we'll just leave it here. So what I want you to see and notice is that as you added the fields, notice that it just laid it out for you, right? I mean, the XamDataGrid is really cool that way, and there's lots of things you can do with layout. Of course, you probably want to read the help docs and everything because there's a lot of power in this control. But what I'd like to show you is the two layout modes that we have are auto arrange cells. And we know that we're in the auto arrange mode because right here it says auto arrange on. And when you toggle this, it'll turn it off and it'll go into this explicit mode where you have to have a row and a column, and you specify row and column where the each field shows up. So I'm going to go ahead and just apply and save here real quick, and let me run over here to this other view, and this is called the manual layout view. And of course, like I said, this project's available to you, and the link is in the help topic for the XamDataGrid Control Configurator. And so you'll see how we have this playground here, and then we've got this one. So the reason we do this is so you can study and see what we have here, but maybe you want to look at this one and then open up your own and see if you can mimic it using the configurator, right? So I'm going to go ahead and open our configurator up just so I can so you can see what it looks like, and then we'll go and we'll manually do it. So what do we got going on here? Well, we have in our first row, we've got order, ship state, and order status. That's in our first row, and you can see that these fields go along here. Then below that, in the second column, we've got this approved button. Okay, so that's a checkbox. And then we've got accounting code in the last one. That's this field here. Over here, in this column, we've got subtotal, and notice that subtotal has a row span of 3, and you can see that it's centered. All right, we're going to focus our attention over here on the field layouts. Let's go look at date order real quick. So I'm going to click on it, select it, and then down here, when you're in the automatic layout mode, when you're not in the automatic layout mode, inside the field, inside your properties over here, you're going to get these 4 properties are going to show up: column, column span, row, and row span. They're not there in the other mode, and the reason is because if you change them, it doesn't do anything, right? And that's why we don't show them. But let's go take a look at has been approved. That's a Boolean. And let's see where that one is. Oh, so this is column 0. Okay, yep, column 0. They're 0 based, just like WPF, grid is. Okay. Column span 3. Yep, that's why it goes all the way across. It's in row 1. Yep, it's in row 1, and it's got a row span of 1. All right, so that's pretty neat. Now let's go look at accounting code. So click on that one, scroll down a little bit, and of course, just looking at it, you would know that accounting code, it's in column 0, has a column span of 3. It's in row 2. Remember, it's 0 based. Column span and row spans are 1 based, right? And then, of course, it has a row span of 1. And then, ship state and order status here. We'll just look at order status. So we could see that this is column 0, 1, 2. And if we look at over here, column 2, column span 1, row 0, row span 1, you can see right where it is. Now subtotal, click on that guy and look right here. See, he's over in 4, but a row span of 3. So you can do some pretty interesting things with this layout, right? All right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and close the configurator down for this field. Let's run back over to the one that we've been working on real quick, and I think it's this one, right? This is the one we're working on. All right, so what we'd like to do is to arrange this so that we have ID, first name, last name on this row, and on the second row, I'd like to go ahead and get street, city, state, and zip on the second row. So how do we do that? Well, we have to click on the order layout. Now we're on the layout, and the auto arrange, if you turn this on, it does a whole bunch of magic for you. Now, if you go to field layout settings and you set auto arrange on, because that's where it's at, auto arrange cells, if you change the value here, it's just going to change the value, and you're not going to get the benefit of what the little button does for you. So highly recommend you don't change it in the property grid. All right, so I should probably take it out of there, but it needs to be there. All right, so we come back over to order layout. We got auto arrange on, and I'm going to click this. Now, are you sure you would like to change the order layout to use manual column and row settings instead of auto arrange? And I'm going to say yes. I'm going to click here. All right, so what just happened is it went and it changed that property. But if you notice here, I'm going to click on first name. Notice the first name is in column 1, last name, column 2, and so forth. So we can see here that by using that button, it went and laid them out in all the columns. So that's pretty cool. So now, how do we get things to maneuver around? Well, what you have to do is you just have to know what you want to do. And it's just like in WPF, so you're clicking on things, and you come over here, and so street, or on address street. So what I want that to be on row number 1 now. So notice it moved. Then I'm going to put it in column 0. And look how easy that was. All right, now I'm going to find my city, just like before. Let's go and get it in the right row, and then get it in the right column. See, real simple. You can create some really nice layouts using the tool. The tool allows you to do a lot here. Okay, so that 0, 1, 2, there's my column 2. And my zip, I'm going to put that in row 1. And leave it in column 3. And because last names tend to be long, I'm going to come over here to last name, click on it, go to my column span, make that 2, and in basically 1 second, I've pretty much got this done. Now, obviously, this is an ugly layout, not the point. The point was how to get things laid out. And you can see when it goes 2, so this has a column span of 2, we can see it takes up the whole thing. All right, so this is how this works. And so if you ever need to use this tool, so let's go ahead and save this for a second. Control K, Control D. So we come down here, and you can see that it's added all these properties here. So it could be, a lot of work to do all this yourself manually, but this thing allows you to really take advantage of this capability by using the tool to lay out the rows and the columns for you. Now, why the XamDataGrid didn't update, sometimes I've seen that where the layout doesn't update. So let's just come back over here and we'll just re-click it, and then it'll reload. I asked them for a reload button, but I can't get them to do it. Anyways, that's my old team. I used to work on the team that did this, and so I asked them for a reload button, but didn't happen yet. At any rate, great feature, real easy to use, and I hope you enjoy using the configurator and working with the XamDataGrid from Infragistics. Have a wonderful day, and thank you very much.